My name is Richard Newton. Recently, Nicole Hannah-Jones, who's a journalist who's perhaps now best known for her work on what was called the 1619 Project, and she was invited to speak for an MLK or Martin Luther King Jr. Day event. And when she gave her speech, unbeknownst to the audience, she took a whole string of quotations from Martin Luther King Jr. And knitted them together into a single speech, saying things that people probably would have assumed came from herself, from Nicole Hannah-Jones, being quite critical of capitalism, of nationalism, of racism. And then lo and behold, by the end of the speech, as well as from her Twitter followers, people learned that these were actually quotations from Martin Luther King Jr. And so Martin Luther King Jr., who's known for saying, I have a dream, and that people wouldn't be judged by the color of their skins, but the content of their character, all of a sudden now is this hyper critic of certain social institutions that we thought, well, if he's an American hero, he should be about all of these. Truth be told, the legacy of Martin Luther King Jr. was that he was a social critic in ways that a lot of people who claim him today would find very uncomfortable. And she wanted to lay that out and say, if we're going to have a conversation about race, we need to do it on terms that present King as he probably was, at least through his own writings, which was pretty critical of capitalism and of racism and hypernationalism.